The night sky, not quite like any you've seen. Across vast, ancient lands, far to the east of Bethlehem, a unique celestial beacon blazes. It's not just another star. It pulsates with a destiny, a promise, a divine invitation. Far below, in distant kingdoms, a group of wise men, scholars, and astronomers known as magi gaze upwards. They are seekers of truth, students of the cosmos, accustomed to deciphering the mysteries of the heavens. But this star, this singular, radiant star, speaks a language they had been preparing their whole lives to understand. It signals the birth of a king, a new sovereign, perhaps even the long-awaited King of the Jews. Their response to this celestial sign was nothing short of radical. They didn't just observe, they acted. They left their homes, their comforts, their familiar routines. They packed their most precious treasures, not for trade, but for tribute. And they set out on a journey of immense distance and unknown duration, following that unwavering light. This was not a casual trip. It was an expedition of faith, driven by a profound conviction that something extraordinary had happened, something worth everything. Their path would have been arduous. Picture endless deserts, rugged mountains, and the vast expanse of open sky above them, day after day, night after night. They traveled not knowing exactly where they were going, only that the star would guide them. Their camels trudged through the sand, their robes weathered by wind and sun. Days bled into weeks, perhaps even months, yet their resolve never wavered. Their minds were fixed on the destination, on the king they were destined to find and worship. Finally, after what must have felt like an eternity, the star led them to the region of Judea, and then specifically to Jerusalem. But here, the journey took an unexpected turn. The star, which had been their unwavering compass, seemed to pause. And the expectation of finding a newborn king in the grand palace of Jerusalem was met with a perplexing silence. No trumpets heralded a new birth, no celebrations filled the streets. This was not the royal welcome they might have anticipated. So they did what any wise traveler might do. They inquired. They asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." Their question, so earnest and direct, sent ripples of disturbance through the city, reaching the ears of King Herod, a ruthless and paranoid ruler. Herod was deeply troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. He immediately summoned all the chief priests and teachers of the law and demanded to know where the Messiah was to be born. They cited the ancient prophecy from the prophet Micah, "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Herod, cunning and cruel, then secretly called the Magi. He wanted to ascertain the exact time the star had appeared, hoping to calculate the child's age. With feigned piety, he instructed them, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." But his heart held a sinister intent, a fear for his throne. This encounter in Jerusalem highlights the stark contrast between worldly power and the humble arrival of true divine authority. The wise men, pure in their motive, were unknowingly stepping into a dangerous political game. Leaving Herod's presence, the wise men stepped back into the night. And then a moment of profound relief and renewed conviction. The star, the very star they had seen in the east, reappeared, moving ahead of them. It led them onward, guiding them the final few miles from Jerusalem to the small town of Bethlehem. And there, the star stopped. It stood over the very place where the child was. The Bible tells us they were overjoyed. This was not just a casual happiness. It was a deep, soul-stirring elation, the culmination of a long, arduous quest. They entered the house, for by this time Jesus and his family were likely no longer in a stable, but in a humble dwelling. And there they saw the child, Jesus with his mother Mary. Their response was immediate and profound. They fell on their knees and worshipped him. This was not mere reverence, it was adoration. These seasoned travelers, men of learning and distinction, prostrated themselves before a young child, recognizing not just a king, but a divine presence. It was an act of radical humility and complete devotion. Then they opened their treasures. From their pouches they brought forth gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were not random presents. Gold, the tribute fit for a king, acknowledging his royal sovereignty. Frankincense, the fragrant resin used in worship, signaling his divine nature as worthy of adoration. And myrrh, a bitter spice used for embalming, subtly foreshadowing the suffering he would endure and his ultimate death. Each gift was carefully chosen, rich with symbolic meaning, offered from the depths of their hearts and the breadth of their understanding. After their worship, as they prepared to return, they received a divine warning in a dream: do not go back to Herod. And again, their radical devotion shone through. Without question, without hesitation, they obeyed. They took another route back to their own country, circumventing Herod's wicked plan. Their journey of seeking concluded with an act of quiet, courageous obedience. The story of the wise men is more than just a historical account. It's an enduring inspiration. Their journey symbolizes our own spiritual quest. They sought truth, not just for knowledge, but for worship. They were willing to leave everything familiar behind, to endure hardship, and to trust in a guiding light they didn't fully understand at first. Their radical devotion teaches us to pursue God earnestly, with an open heart and an unyielding spirit, no matter the distance or the difficulty. And like them, when we find Him, we are called not just to acknowledge, but to truly worship, to offer our best, our most precious gifts, not necessarily gold or frankincense, but our time, our talents, our resources, our very lives. Their journey teaches us that true worship is an active pursuit, a costly endeavor, and ultimately a joyful surrender. They sought the King, found Him, worshipped Him, and returned home changed, taking a different route. May we too be led by the light of Christ to new paths of devotion and obedience. What does radical devotion look like in your life today? How are you led by the light of Christ in your journey? We invite you to reflect on this powerful story and share your thoughts in the comments below. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing for more stories of faith and inspiration. Until next time, may you be led by the star.